look in the mirror, man, you're so dirty. Yeah, you look so dirty. You were never worthy. Lately it's you.
Welcome to the Jeremy Hill Show. If you're easily triggered, leave now, because this is not the show for you. Now, what I'm going to talk to you about today is modern women's inability to apologize. It seems if they say 5 magic words, they will disintegrate into dust. And those 5 words are, I'm sorry, I am wrong. You will hardly ever hear that come from the mouth of today's modern day woman, black women in particular. So let me put these clips up for you out of fair use to explain myself a little bit better. Excuse me, stumbling over my words today.
Based on the feedback I'm getting, there are men who've been married 15, 20 years that said they've never heard their wife apologize. And based on the feedback I'm getting, there are men who've been married 15, 20 years that said they've never heard their wife apologize. I know some men who say, yeah,
imagine that. You being married to somebody 15, 20 years, and the person that you married to would never apologize to you. Now, let's get this understood, man. Like my daddy said, there's no such thing as 2 people who think exactly alike, right? So when you're with somebody for a given amount of time, if you're with somebody for 5 years, 3 years like that, that other person is going to do something that you're not going to like, and vice versa. And if a woman cannot recognize her faults and her wrongs and come to you with a humble heart and ask for your forgiveness and apologize, then that is a very emotionally immature individual, because it is immaturity that would prevent a person from acknowledging their wrongs to another person. That's a person who has no humility, has absolutely no meekness, M-E-E-K, meek, not weak, but meekness. And they fail to look at themselves. They won't evaluate themselves. You are always going to be the problem. They will blame the man instead of themselves. It's a sad thing. Let's keep going.
just started dating someone. She's struggling to apologize, and men saying that they've been married for 20 years. So again, I think it's tied to the emotional maturity of that person. It's tied to the toxic shame if that person has trauma.
Yep, that's true. Now, what I'm going to talk about also is how some parents, man, especially Black American women, they would neglect their sons and their own daughters. But when their own sons and their own daughters have children and bring to them grandchildren, they will try to make up for the neglect, the years of neglectfulness that they did to their own children by treating the grandchildren way better than they treated their own children. And I'm going to get into that. And they need to apologize for that as well.
All right, I don't know what parent needs to hear this, but I'm going to go ahead and say this. And I know it's probably going to go over some of y'all's heads, so I'm going to say this twice. Doing above and beyond as a grandparent will never make up for being a shitty parent.
Exactly. Again, there are fathers, there are mothers, I'm talking about the women today, they can go either way, who are abusive to their children, neglectful to their children. They know that they are pieces of shit when it comes to parenting. But once their children have children, they will treat their grandchildren better than they treated their own children. They're trying to, what I noticed, especially when they get older, they become neglectful. Some of them, not all of them, they become remorseful, okay? Regretful, what I'm trying to say. And now they want to make up for how they treated the child by taking care of their children, grandchildren, and treating them better, taking them places that they never took their own children, loving on them in ways that they never did with their own children, to make up for the fact that they were shitty parents. What you have to do is apologize to your children. That's what you have to do.
Say this one more time. Doing above and beyond, or what you should as a grandparent, will never make up for the things you did that made you a shitty parent. If you are knowledgeable of something that you did during the course of raising your children that offended or hurt your child's feelings, the best thing that you can do is acknowledge that and sincerely apologize. We don't need the explanation as to why, and that's irrelevant.
Exactly. We don't need you to give us your bullshit excuses as to why you couldn't take care of us the way you needed to. Now check this out, man. Every child has the right to complain about an ungodly parent. Every child has the right to complain about a neglectful parent. They just do. Okay? Because they didn't ask to come here. You brought them in. Okay? They didn't ask to be born. You brought them here. So basically, don't give us your reasons why you was a bullshitting parent. Okay? Just say you apologize, be remorseful about it, and have some kind of changed behavior behind that. Because an apology means nothing if there is not a changed behavior that comes with that apology. Now, you can't go back in the past and change the behavior of what you did with your children. But what you can do is treat your children today, the one that you apologize to for being a neglectful parent to, you treat them better. You treat them way better than you did when they was children. Let them be able to feel your apology, not just hear your apology. So again, without a changed behavior, you can't be in you can't apologize to nobody without changing your behavior. It's insincere at that point. That means that you're just sorry that you was caught, not sorry because you really feel remorse for what you did.
And that's irrelevant at this point because that doesn't change anything. Acknowledge their feelings, acknowledge that you made a mistake and you did something that hurt them, and apologize. That means more than y'all will understand. And I'm speaking from experience.
Mm-hmm. And you know what's so funny about this stuff is, y'all, a lot of these women who say they are Proverbs 31 women and they real Christian or whatever like that, even God says in his word that if you can't come to him with a remorseful heart and apologize, repentance is just apology. God, I'm sorry for what I've done, for the lifestyle I've lived. I'm sorry for it. I want to change. Even God himself wants you to be able to apologize. He won't even have a relationship with you, according to scripture, and let you come to heaven if you're not remorseful for the wrong you've done. And if you don't want to change your behavior from what you used to. If God himself recognizes how important it is for you to be able to apologize, lady, then why don't you think it's important to apologize to your man? I don't get that.
So you know you owe him an apology, but you won't give it to him. Wow, you're being petty. I said what I said, you're being petty. See, the fact that you thought you had good information, then found out it was some BS, makes no difference at all. Because you accused him before you found out it was true.
That's another thing. Women have these old bullshitting ass musty back helper friends who will lie on their men and tell you, girl, I seen your man with so-and-so. I saw your man over there. And you get mad at the man. You take the women's side before you take the men's side until later on you realize that you was wrong and you still won't apologize. Why does it take you hours to come down or hours for you to realize when you're wrong that you need to apologize? And for some of you, you won't even say you're sorry. Just take this shit and keep moving.
Then when you found out you were wrong, you have every excuse in the world why you shouldn't apologize.
Well, he did it before. I had good reason to think.
Well, if you had good reason to think, he has good reason to be pissed off because you accused him without the proof, then found out it was a lie, he was innocent, and all he wants is you to acknowledge that you were wrong and to apologize. What's wrong with that? All you wanted him to do is change, and that's what he's doing. Seems to me somebody else needs to do some changing. I said what I said. Be well.
She said petty. That's the newest way of saying immature. Oh, you're being petty. No, you're being childish. That's what the fuck that mean, right? A lot of you women are childish out here, man. At the beginning of this video, I played a therapist. I think it's the same therapist. And this is later on in life. And she's still talking about how women are not apologizing. That women are destroying their sessions because they don't want to be held accountable.
So I was talking to a male friend of mine the other day, and he told me that women don't apologize and women can't be held accountable. And I began to really think deeply about this idea. And one of the things that came across my mind is in the last 9 months or so of me being in my private practice, I have myself experienced many women, whether they came in as a couple or they came by themselves, they very abruptly discontinued their therapy. And I started to reflect and really think, what was going on here? And I noticed that after I had to confront them about something, I had to bring to their attention something they were doing that wasn't contributing to the health of the relationship, they became very defensive and very, just very harsh. And
that's the character of a woman who is hard-headed and stubborn, becoming very defensive about their action. They'll do anything they think they can justify in their sick little minds, man. These women go to therapy with their men. It's probably the woman's idea to go to therapy, but because the woman, see, the therapist has to be, now this is the black lady therapist. The therapist has to be objective. The therapist has to be able to be analytical when she comes in front of the facts. When she see the facts, she got to make a decision on what's right and wrong. That's how it's supposed to be. But the problem is the therapist is seeing that the woman is the problem and the woman don't like that. So she'll stop coming to therapy and let the man keep going to therapy because the man, he wants to fix it. Men are problem solvers. Problem solvers. I'm sorry. And then these women just don't like it. So they'll abandon everything. I don't want to go therapy no more. She take your side. It ain't that. You just don't want to be held accountable and apologize for your part in this thing. That's all it is.
Just very harsh, and they stopped coming. And even though the husband would continue to come, he made it very clear that, yeah, she won't apologize. She thinks you're wrong. She thinks you're taking my side. And I began to really reflect, like, oh my gosh, is it true that women don't apologize? Is it that women struggle with being held accountable? I'd love your thoughts on this. Me personally, I think it has to do with a person's level of emotional maturity. What do you think?
I think she's childish. Like you said, emotional maturity. Now, I got a treat for you, ladies and gentlemen. I do have one woman who does apologize, but she's going to apologize for the brick lady. You know how women was talking so much shit about men when they believed that Rhonda was hit in the head with a brick? Come to find out that was a whole lie, that she got a warrant for her arrest in Houston, Texas. They looking for her now. She's a fugitive. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if she got arrested yet or not, but she was a fugitive last night. So we got a lady who's going to apologize for the good women, not for those mustard back heifers that was talking all that crap. She's going to apologize for the good women who are actually on our sides. And this is going to be the best you get for an apology. Let's get started.
So, no, you probably won't ever get that apology. But on behalf of my sister friends and just females, especially Black women, who just blindly believe this lady, I apologize to y'all. I am so sorry that this is y'all reality. And I'm so sorry that y'all have to endure this harsh treatment and unfairness and don't even give an apology. I apologize and I'm sorry.
Yep, that's the best we're going to get, y'all. That's the best we're going to get. Anyway, y'all let me know what you think about this in the comments. See you later.